Let's go on to Iowa and I. Listen, I love rivalry games played this early. Before we even start talking about the game, there is nothing better to me than getting something like this early in the year. Now, I love them late in the year too. Don't get me wrong. But I would love. Remember. I don't know if you guys followed this rivalry as much, just being where you are and who you cheer for. But man, for years, Florida State used to play Miami on Labor Day. That was the best. That was the best. I mean, it sucked when you lost, and we lost more of them than we won. But man, start out the year with a win against a rival. I think college football needs more of this. Maybe when we kind of consolidate and get things kind of figured out with what we're doing from realignment and everything else. But I would like to see more of this. Let's go Big Ten first here. We'll go Tom again. Iowa State.
Just for the sake of speed in this one, I do not like this game for Iowa. Mark Gronowski really struggled. Granted, I mentioned it before. He was dealing with cramps and just didn't look like he was 100%. That's something I understand he was dealing with in the offseason coming from South Dakota State. So you're getting acclimated to a higher level of play. I think there were high expectations for him to kind of revolutionize the quarterback position at Iowa, or at least bring it into the future. He was 8 of 15 for 44 yards and 1 touchdown against Albany. So not great. 34-7 victory for Iowa in that game. But Iowa still was very much Iowa. Ran for 310 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns. So again, kind of going off of more what Iowa State did against Kansas State in Ireland, because last week Iowa State was able to get the victory against South Dakota, 55-7. So kind of a chance for them to come back home, get settled, get over the jet lag, that sort of thing. I think Iowa State has got momentum and confidence coming off of that victory in Ireland, and especially knowing that they can hang tough. And they were not the better team against Kansas State. Kansas State should have won that game. Iowa State hung tough and finished, so I give them credit for that. Iowa's going to have to do hardcore Iowa things within this game. They're going to have to play time of possession, field position. They're going to have to run the hell out of the football. Gronowski, not entirely sure what his health is going to be like for this game. I think if they have a chance to win, he's going to have to be much more mobile, and he's going to have to be a lot better in the passing game than he was obviously against Albany, but a lot of that depends on his health. So I think the one constant with Iowa is what Kirk Ferentz knows. They're going to run the football. They're going to run play action pass to the tight end. They're going to do what they always do, and they'll play disciplined defense. So can Rocco Becht and company overcome that? I think the talent gap is larger now between Iowa State and Iowa than it's been in a while. And that breaks my heart as a Big Ten fan, as someone who respects Iowa football. It sucks to see the position they're in. But when it comes to the Cyhawk this year, I lean towards the Cyclones.
We'll get right back to chatting, but first, let's make some money. Grab your mobile phone, go get the Sleeper app. If you don't have that downloaded, use our code CFA. You get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Look what they've got on here right now. Bryce Underwood, more or less passing touchdowns, 0.5. Give me the more on that. I know it's a tough Oklahoma defense. I understand that. I like the more there. John Mateer, his is 1.5. I'm going to bet Bryce Underwood's right now while we're talking about it. John Mateer, more or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns. That's a tough one to me. I don't know. So I'm going to avoid it because I'm smart and want to avoid ones that I'm not sure about. But there's other stuff on here that you can check out. The Michigan-Oklahoma game is not it. Look at this one. You can do USF versus Florida. Lagway, a huge number, 265.5 passing yards. I like the less there. I don't think he's in as long. So I'm going to put both those together, and I'm going to submit it. And it was just that easy. You pair a couple or more, whatever you want to do, on the Sleeper app. They will help you make money. You can follow all the scores on here. Go check out the Sleeper app today. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. We appreciate them for their support. Go check them out.
I'm going to be really interested in 3 main things. Number 1, what are we going to see from this tight end room for Iowa State? I think that they're going to have to be such a big point this season for Rocco Becht just because they're frame. They're both 6'6". We saw the 2 big touchdown passes downfield to, I believe it's Benjamin Brahmer, if I'm not mistaken. He had the 2 scores in the number 9, had the big time score against 18. My apologies. Had the big time score against Kansas State. Gabe Burkle's another one. He's 6'6", if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have to get the ball in their hands. They're going to have to make not just plays, but they're going to have to be consistent. I want to see a little bit more from Chase Soule if he's able to get involved. That was a big time name that people liked coming out of ECU, so I think that his role is going to be pretty substantial. Who's going to be that other third weapon that we talk about for Iowa State? You know they're going to run the football. They have Dylan Lee, Carson Hansen, Abu Sama. None of them have really broken on out, but they do have some. They've had some success this season. That's a big thing I'm looking for Iowa State. Can you get the ball to your tight ends that can just mismatch what we've seen for Iowa's standpoint? For Iowa, you got to control the time possession. That is just a non-negotiable. You got to let Mark Gronowski play his game. And whatever is his game that day is totally fine, but you got to let him play his game. Think about this for a second, boys. He rushed for in that game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 39, 40 yards. He had 2 runs of over 10 yards downfield. He threw for 44. And he was like 8 of 17 or 8 of 16 or 8 of 15 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you look at those things and you say to yourself, if the passing attack is somehow working, if this is a game to where we got to trust him to take a couple of shots downfield, so be it. But if this is a game where also what we didn't see in Dublin for a mobile quarterback like Avery Johnson, hey, you got to make his legs the key asset and element to the success of this game. Then by all means, it has to be that. That's the way it's going to go, because I trust that the defense is going to bail him out of trouble, at least on several drives early on to set the tone. But the third thing, 2 names I truly believe will decide the end of this matchup. The first one is Sam Phillips. He is a returner. He averaged 46 return yards in the game against UAlbany. The other one is going to be Aiden Flora. He averaged 58.8 returns on his punt returns, his 2 punt returns for Iowa State. One of them is going to make the big time play. One of them is going to set up excellent field position. In a game like this with 2 coaches in the state that are known for their physical brand of football, they're also known for one other element: special teams. You're going to need a special teams play. Whichever side shows up and gets a better special teams play out, that's the one that's walking away with the dub.
I really like Iowa State here. And for a lot of the reasons that Tom mentioned, but you know what? As much as I love this rivalry, every time I think that it's a very clear, this team should beat this team, it typically goes the other way. Like, that's where my gut is with this. I'm going to pick Iowa State and have about 4% confidence, because every time I think I know what's going to happen in this dumb rivalry, it's not a dumb rivalry for everybody watching. Just, it's dumb the way it works out. I'm going to pick Iowa State here. I'm going to go 27-21. But man, not with a lot of confidence. Rivalry weekend in week 2 is absolutely absurd, and I love it. But give me the Cyclones.
Give me the Cyclones 21-18. So Iowa still covers the spread, but definitely bet the under in this thing. Do not take the over.
Oh, yeah.
I
agree there.
It's 41.5. Yeah, take the under.
Do you buy, before Cole goes, do you buy the phrase life's too short to bet unders? Like, I rarely bet unders. Like, if when I say bet the under, it means I'm not going to bet on that game.
With Iowa,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
consistently your friend.
That's fair. I can't watch the game if I bet an under. Like, that's my problem, because I want to see points, like that. That's where my thinking is. Cole, sorry for sidetracking everyone.
So Tom took Iowa State, or you took Iowa?
I took Iowa State.
And you took Iowa State.
Correct.
Fine. I will go down the ship and say that the year where Kirk Ferentz and an offense finds a life in the Cy-Hawk Bowl, which also probably one of the more better names for, I think, an actual rivalry that people don't talk about enough. Cy-Hawk Bowl, awesome. Mark Gronowski, make me proud.
We did put that there, yeah, the Cy-Hawk Bowl. So we put it on our rundown. So listen, I am excited for this game. There's some hate for week 2. There's some good stuff happening this weekend. Cy-Hawk Bowl. You mentioned the Duke, Illinois, Baylor, SMU, obviously the big one that we already previewed, which is on the channel, Michigan, Oklahoma. And then the last one that we'll get to here in just a minute, South Florida and UF.